students. Today we're going to see communication using Bloom's taxonomy. But first, we have to know who created Bloom's taxonomy. Well, he was Benjamin S. Bloom, who was born into the tumultuous time period of World War I. Yet, his early life was shaped in many ways by the typical Eastern American experience. Born on February 21st in 1913, Bloom grew up in Lansford, Pennsylvania. He was a small and unassuming man with a sharp wit and a deep desire to learn. He also attended to the Penn State University and later earned a PhD from the University of Chicago. At the time he developed his famous taxonomy, the United States was at the forefront of educational theory, from John Dewey's Progressive School to the boom in information processing theory to Skinner's science of behaviorism. The United States paved the way in educational theory. As a board examiner from 1943 to 1959, Bloom developed his famous Bloom's taxonomy. To him, all learning must be individualized and criterion referenced. Eventually, on their own, students will reach the same level. Bloom had an affinity for science and statistics, which enabled him to classify information quickly. Those who knew him will often remark on his messy office, filled with books, notes, scribbles of information, and statistical research. Although his theories have been largely adopted by the more traditional teaching movements, especially in standards-based instruction and in the core curriculum movement, Bloom considered himself a progressive. His style of teaching was interactive and encouraging to new ideas of research. Indeed, he was more progressive than people could have ever guessed. Before social learning theory existed, Bloom suggested that the environment played a major role in a student's learning. Before differentiated instruction was an educational buzzword, he believed in tailoring instruction to an individual's needs. In his later years, Bloom became an educational activist. He worked as a consultant for India and Israel. He advocated an educational system based upon higher level thinking and progressive style of teaching. Later, he testified before Congress about the importance of early childhood development. To him, one of his greatest victories was the creation of the Head Start program. But you might be asking, what does taxonomy mean? Well, it just means classification. So the well-known taxonomy of learning objects is an attempt to classify forms and levels of learning. It identifies 3 domains of learning. First of all, we have the cognitive domain that focuses on the mental skills or knowledge. Then we have the affective domain that focuses on growth in feelings or emotional areas, also the attitude. And the psychomotor domain that focuses on mental and physical skills. And now that we know a little bit more about Bloom's taxonomy and who created it, let's get started with the class. Hi, welcome to the class. Today we're going to talk about communication. First of all, my name is Angie. Can you tell me your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Marquez.
Okay, Marquez. I have a question for you. Can you tell
of course.
me what communication is?
Communication?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, and what do you think it is? Any idea? Like,
Well, probably the language that we use, no?
language that we use. What else?
Probably like a way to give a message,
Okay.
or like the way.
Okay, perfect. And do you know or have you heard about linear communication, interactive communication, or transactional communication?
No.
Okay, so that's what we're going to learn today. First of all, we have to know what communication is. And basically, communication is the process of creating, interpreting, and negotiating the meaning. Communication can be verbal, nonverbal, textual, or also can be oral, visual, and even physical. As you mentioned before, there was one of the answers that you gave me that it's language that is in here. And language covers the verbal communication and also the textual communication. But if you think about it, the other example that you gave me, which is that is the way to give a message, is exactly what communication is. Someone creating a message and someone receiving that message. That's what communication is.
Okay.
Okay, so now um, we have to keep in mind that we use communication through certain tools that we're born with. Most of human beings were born with the ability to speak, to hear, to see, and basically we use these tools to communicate the message that we want the other ones to hear. As I mentioned before, we have three different types of models of communication, which is the linear model, the interactional model, and the transactional model. Okay? First of all, we're going to see the linear model or the linear way of communication. This has only one way and doesn't have any kind of interaction between the sender and the receiver. Here I have an example of what linear communication is. So we have the sender given a message. We have the message itself going to the receiver with all the noise that can cover or can distortion the message. And then we have the receiver. So basically the important thing here in the linear model is that someone gives a message, but the person who receives it doesn't give an answer, just receives the message. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Now we have the interactive model. The difference between the interactive model and the linear model is that in the interactive model, we have the receiver of the message given feedback. For example, in the linear communication, if you see an ad on the TV, you can hear the information, but you cannot give it an answer because you're watching in the TV. But in here, if you, for example, ask a question to me because you didn't understand the topic, and I give you the answer of that question, that will be an interactive model. So it's the sender sending a message to the receiver, and the receiver is given a response to the sender. This means that the receiver understood what the sender was saying. And then we have the transactional model. In the transactional model, the difference is that now we don't have a sender and a receiver. We have two communicators, which is this girl and this boy. Both of them are the communicators. In here, the first communicator can give a message, the second communicator can respond and also give another message. So it's giving new information. In the interactive model, we just have the sender giving the message and the receiver responding to the message. While in the transactional model, we have the first communicator giving a message and then the second communicator responding and giving another different message, which could happen in a normal conversation. When we have normal conversations, a person says something, the other one responds and gives another example. Any questions till here?
No.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you a list of examples that you can tell me which kind of communication are we seeing in this example. First of all, we have a
Okay.
political speech and the TV. What do you think it is?
Mm, I think it's linear.
Okay. Next, we have the teacher asking the students if they understood the topic. What do you think it is?
Mm, I think it might be interactive.
Yeah, that's right. Now, can you read the other 4 examples and write down the answer that you think it's correct so we can check it?
Okay.
Do you have the answers already?
Almost. Okay. I'm done.
Okay, so can you give me the answer for a manager answering a customer's question?
Yeah, that's interactive.
Yeah, that's right. What about a meeting of people who is sharing their ideas?
Transactional.
Yeah, that's right. What about two friends having a conversation about a party that they had last Friday?
Transactional as well.
Yeah, that's right. And what about an ad on Instagram?
That would be linear.
Okay, that's right. You got all of them right. Congratulations. So now
Thanks.
you are going to write down an example of each one of the ways to communicate. If you want, I can put you the previous examples here so you can check them if you need them, and just write down or draw an example for each type of communication. Remember, we have the interactive, the transactional, and the linear communication.
Okay.
And I'm going to write the three examples here. Do you have your examples already?
Yeah, almost.
Okay. So
Okay, I'm finished.
you finished? Okay. So I also write down 3 different examples. And what we are going to do is first of all, I'm going to tell you my examples, and you're going to tell me which kind of communication is of each example. Okay? So first of all, I have a lady going to the supermarket asking a price for grape juice, and the cashier responding that the grape juice is at £1. What do you think it is?
I think it's linear, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Interactive?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Interactive, given a message, which will be the question, and responding to this message, which will be the answer, in this case, the price of the grape juice. Now we have a couple going to the cinema and deciding which movie they want to see.
Transactional?
Yeah, that's right. And now we have mom shouting to his kids to tell them to clean up their room. What do you think it is?
Linear?
Yeah, that's right. Now, I want to hear your examples, and I'm gonna try to guess which kind of communication you write down on each example.
Okay. So a story on Instagram, just like saying anything
Okay.
to its followers.
Okay, I think that is linear communication.
Yeah, that's correct. A mom asking his son if he ate already.
Mm.
And then the son replying back.
Okay, then that will be an interactive communication.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly, well, I'm not sure about this one, a basketball practice.
Basketball practice.
Like they talk to each other about like the strategies and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. If if the people who's playing the basketball is sharing different strategies, then there will be a transactional interaction.
Mm.
Okay, so I see that you understood very, very well what the types of communication we have. Um, that will be all. Thanks for attending to the class, and I hope you have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
Okay, so that will be all. Thanks for attending to the class. Here are my resources, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.